Okay, so this is reading 8 to 7 for you, B, and you asked me specifically about this relationship, so I'm going to see what comes up for you here. Let's start off here with this Ogham stave here, which is ash or newen. Interesting that this themes your whole reading, because this is about lots of changes happening in the past and happening in the future, but primarily changes that other people have imposed on you. In the context of relationships, it's about other people making decisions for you, but it's about you allowing other people to make decisions for you. And that kind of theme will crop up as we go through this reading. These three staves here are about the past for you, and Fian or Elder kind of themes those, and that's about giving and receiving advice. And when I put them together with these ones here, what I can see is a continuing lack of self-esteem, for the want of a better phrase, self-confidence. You kind of confidence in your ability to love and be loved by other people has taken a bit of a hammering, and you're not sure whether you're worthy, whether you are a good enough gift to give to a partner. Please excuse me. This here is gort or ivy, and this is about survival, really. It's about it's about putting on a brave smile, but underneath being really uncertain about your happiness and about whether it's stable or not. And sitting underneath that is coal or hazel, and this is about inner wisdom. And when we see these two like this, what it often reminds me of, particularly for you in the context of this reading, is that you have so much to give, and you have so much wisdom, and you have so much innate love to give to someone else, but your continuing self-esteem about the quality of the love that you have to give kind of suffocates you a little bit, and so you try really quite hard and then question whether you've done the right thing. This one sitting in the middle is strafe or blackthorn, and strafe is sitting in the position that talks about what's happening in your life right now, and it's questions, and again it's still sadness, and there's a hesitation on your part about whether you should enjoy the relationship that you're in, because is it going to last, and am I worthy of it, and am I picking the right person, and is that person picking me for the right reasons, so all of this hesitancy and all of these questions. But let's focus here, because this is where the real answers are, and this talks about the next 12 months or so, and it's themed with this one here, which is Engatrol or broom. It's really quite pertinent in relation to your question. This is about sweeping away all of the old memories, the old thoughts, the old goals, the old pains, the old worries, the old concerns, and even the old people that no longer serve your purpose. And why do I say that? That's not about being selfish. That's about sweeping that out of your life so that you can free yourself up to experience new relationships, new people, new love, new laughter. And that themes the whole of the next 12 months. So it's about saying, I'm not going to hold on to this old perception that I have of myself or of what I wanted, and I'm just going to experience the world as it is right now for me, and see what happens. These two here, this one here is thyme or holly, very much kind of tied up with this one here. Holly is very much about obstacles. It's about change. It's about things not going according to plan. But what's interesting with holly is that it's very much about the obstacles that you place in your own path. So we talked about your self-confidence in terms of seeing yourself as a gift, and maybe that gift is a little bit tarnished or not quite as perfect as it could be, and so therefore you tend to hold back just a little bit, and you tend to fluctuate between giving absolutely all of yourself and then just holding back a little bit. And Holly very much talks about that and says that actually the biggest sabotage in your life is yourself, in terms of relationships, because you don't see yourself as being the wonderful, awesome person that you actually can be with other people. And then sitting under that is Lewis or Rowan, and these two go very much together. Part of the way that you self-sabotage is by protecting yourself, and that's this one here. Rowan is very much about self-protection. It's about building a little wall around yourself and holding part of yourself back. And you tend to fluctuate between doing that and then flooding that wall and just going for it. So for you, that next 12 months is about balancing and not approaching a relationship out of fear, but just out of experiencing that for itself. And that's really backed up with this one here, and I really would encourage you to remember this one as much as you can. This is Quiet or Apple, and Apple is about living a life which is authentic for you at this time. Okay, so that's really important to remember. It's about living a life, it's about experiencing your life in a way that is authentic for you at this time. So it's about opening your heart, it's about expressing yourself to a potential partner, it's about allowing that potential partner to express themselves to you in such a way that makes your heart sing, that feeds your very core, that feeds your soul. And for you, that's really important. So it's not about money, it's not about fame, it's not about fortune or any of that. It's about peace and harmony and authenticity of self. So when we put all these together, what have we got here? We've very much got a situation where you potentially could approach this relationship from a position of fear. In other words, from a position of, it hasn't worked in the past for me in relationships, so I'm not quite sure whether this one is going to work either. So you know, approaching it from fear, or you can have the choice to sweep that away. Remember, broom sweeps that all away, and say, okay, well, I'm just going to experience it. End of story. No plans, no expectations. I'm just going to experience it. And I encourage you from these Ogham staves here, just to do that for 6 months. No plans, no expectations of this person or of yourself or of the relationship. Just experience it. So you kind of asked me what his intentions are. At the moment, he's holding back a little bit as well, but he's holding back because you have placed yourself in a position where he has no opportunity but to hold himself back. And so if you just are free and allow yourself to experience, then he will be in a much better position to look at his own intentions, which for you are actually quite honourable, for the want of an old-fashioned phrase. But he's just not sure where he stands either. And you asked me, am I imagining this relationship into something that is more than it is? Actually, no, you're not. But you're not allowing it to be as free and as open and as loving and as honest as it possibly could be. You know, there's still that little bit of fear factor in there for you. And if you can go at it for the next 6 months, just from the viewpoint of, let's just experience this, be in the now and experience it for the amazing experience that it is right now, that's all you need. Then in 6 months, you'll be in a much better position to say, well, how was that 6 months for me? Actually, that was pretty damn good. I think I might carry on with this. But until you've had that just open freeness to say, I'm just going to experience it with no hidden agendas, no expectations, I'm just going to experience it, then it will be something that both of you are much more capable of giving to and sharing. And will you eventually fit into my existing circles? Very difficult to say at this point until you get to the end of that 6 months. And I'm actually going to suggest to you that if you try to integrate him into your current community, into your current circle of family, friends and so forth, at this point it may not go down too well. So just hold back for another 3, 4, 5 months and then see how you feel about the relationship at that time, and then let it go, and then let go into whatever it will be. But between now and then, it's really important that you just enjoy and just experience. I'm hoping that makes a little bit of sense for you. Your Druid Animal Oracle card was Frog, and I was really pleased to actually see this here, because Frog is very much about the balance between water and earth. So if we think about emotionality, which is water, and then we think about earth, which is stability, concrete, long-term goals, that kind of stuff. Frog's got 1 foot in water and he's got 1 foot on earth. And so he's experiencing both at the same time. And that's what I was talking about here. It's about just experiencing the relationship for what it is at this time, without hidden agendas, without purpose, without intention or expectation. Just experience it, so that the purpose of that relationship is such that it can bring you joy without there needing to be a price for that joy. Frog is also very much about healing, and he's about abundance and fertility. And I don't mean children here, babies. I mean fertility of whatever it is that you want. Now, if you think about when a frog spawns, hundreds and thousands of eggs, much of which do not survive, but many, many do. And so frog is very much about just being, and just experiencing all the wonders of joy that there are, and allowing that to be. I'm kind of hoping that all makes sense. And whilst I recognise that doesn't necessarily... actually, that was one other thing I wanted to just talk about with you, B, in terms of Frog. Not only is Frog about the balance between, as I talked about, between emotion and stability, but he also sings the song of love. I forgot that bit when I was talking about this before. He's a little bit like you in that, he needs to protect himself a little bit because his skin is quite thin, and if it gets damaged, he can get damaged. And so there's that little bit of protection around him. But with that said, he still gives of himself completely, and, sings that beautiful frog song to find his partner. So for you, this is about just singing the song of love and just enjoying that relationship for what it is at the time. Now, I'm hoping that that made a little bit of sense for you. And whilst I know it probably doesn't answer the questions exactly as you would wanted them, very concrete, yes, no, I'm hoping that it does give you a better perspective, or a different perspective, on how you can approach this relationship for the next 6 months or so.